And then we'll hit this, and we're ready to go. Okay, we're live with Sweetie Suter, and we're down in Oregon. We're in
Gresham, Oregon.
We're in Gresham, Oregon. And Sweetie, you were, it's interesting. I was talking to our friend Evie Fairhart, and I said, I'll never forget this legend we always heard about, this guy named Sweetie Suter. And so I titled this The Legends of East County. And because without a doubt, you were one of those key figures that played a key role or always talked about. Remember, we used to talk about Bart Starr and football, and then we had to have somebody local that we could talk about and see if we could, kind of identify with, if you will. And your name was always at the top of the list. So it's great to finally meet you. And I just want to ask you some things about your background, how you got to where you are today, and how the game of basketball really was such a big part of your life and affected your career.
Oh, absolutely.
And so let's start with that. Tell me about growing up. What was growing up in Mineral?
Yeah, I grew up in Mineral, Washington, population 200. My father was a logger. He worked for St. Regis Paper Company. My mother was a stay-at-home mother. I had a brother, Joe. My sister was 6 years older than I was. And then my brother was 3 years older. And then myself, and then my little baby Pam was 10 years younger than I was.
Sure.
Very small community. All we did was play games. We played so many games outdoors because we didn't have a television at that time. And so we played kick the can, we played baseball, we played basketball. I had a big, nice rim on the garage, and even had a net on it, which was great. And my next door neighbor, who ended up, I played with him at Morton High School, Ron Nelson,
sure,
was right next door to me. So Ron and I have been friends for 80 years.
Wow.
And
same class?
Same exact class, 1962.
Wow.
And over the years, we just have stayed friends.
Sure.
We cut hundreds of cords of wood together, and it was a very small community. So it was basketball and baseball was an outlet for us to get out of the house and play. And we played a lot of card games also. We played a game called 31.
Sure.
We played canasta a lot, and my dad was very big on pinochle, so he taught me how to play pinochle real early. So I enjoyed the days growing up.
Yeah. And then you went on, but do you recall back then, who was your basketball player that you kind of idolized?
I had a couple of them. Bob Cousy with the Boston Celtics. He was awfully good. I love Jerry West because he had such a smooth jump shot. Well, then later on, after I'd gone to college and played, I just missed out playing against Elgin Baylor, and one of the best players I ever played against, Rick Barry.
Rick Barry. Wow.
He was amazing. We'll probably get into that a little bit later in our conversation, but those were the ones, Cousy and Jerry West.
Yeah. Well, you were a pretty tall guy back then, weren't you?
5'9".
Well, that's what's everybody says, Billy or Sweetie Suter, he was a little guy, but man, he could shoot.
I was fast, tall. I had some quicks. And I shot a lot because that's all we did was practice. We shot. We didn't have any court. We had a driveway, and so, I did have some good forms. We absolutely had a foul line.
Yeah.
We had colored rocks for the foul line.
Oh, that's great. But no 3-point shots back then.
No, never had a 3-point line.
Yeah.
Ever.
When did 3-point lines come in effect?
I believe it was late 70s, maybe.
Okay.
I think it was maybe the late 70s, yeah.
And if only you could record your scores with 3-point shots, imagine what your scores would be.
I might have had a few more points. I did shoot out their ways.
So let's talk about that team you had, and of course we all recall the 1962 championship where you played in Spokane. And who was on your team?
We had a wonderful team. In addition to myself, Mike Fairhart was one of the other guards, and Mike could really shoot the ball. And the other guard was Arnie Lillerin. And then we had two bigs. We had Ron Nelson, who was about 6'3", and then we had Bill Little, who was about 6'4".
Wow.
So that was the starting five, and Coach Greider, in a number of games, only played five.
Okay.
Or he might have one sub come in. But we knew we were going to be pretty good our senior year because we had been to Spokane as our junior year.
Sure.
And we got roughed up over there. We lost to Tenino, who we'd beat twice already. And so we all wanted to get back there and do a little better job.
And you were B League then?
We were Class 2B.
Class
Yes.
2B,
Yeah.
okay.
Or it might have just been called B, I think,
Yeah.
back then.
Do you remember who in the area was in your Class B league?
Oh, yes.
White Pass?
White Pass was... I don't think White Pass was in our league. Mossy Rock was in it, Onalaska, Toledo, Tenino, Winlock, I think it said Onalaska. I think that, and maybe Napavine.
Okay.
Maybe Napavine.
But your rival team was, as I recall, always White Pass, was it not?
Well, I read that and I thought, no, actually, we didn't have a rivalry with White Pass. They were not in our league.
Okay.
Our rivals were really Toledo and Tenino.
Okay.
Because they both had great clubs also.
Yeah.
Especially Toledo. My word. They were 6'4", 6'4", 6'3". They were huge. Foreman was one of them, and he was a stud.
Yeah.
Football player. Later went to Linfield and is in their Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And then Hugh Kalich's son.
Yes.
Who was about 6'4",
Right.
and then they had another guy named White or Wright, I think, Wight.
Okay.
And he was about 6'4", and they had Tharp. Tharp was one of their guards.
Sure.
But then Tenino also. They had Gordy Harris, who was almost a 7-footer, and Frank Peters. I'm not sure of his first name. I thought it was Peters or Frank, but anyway, Peters.
Sure.
And so they were our rivals.
Okay.
And we knew we had to go through them in order to accomplish what we wanted to do.
How long had Gibb been there before he took you to the championships?
I believe the 62 team was his ninth.
Ninth team.
Yeah, I remember going to
first time going to the state
championships.
championships.
To the championship, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first trip to the championship.
Yeah.
And, talking about Gibb, I have to take my hat off to him.
Sure.
Our senior year, and Mike Fairhart and I talk about this all the time. We remember, and we think it was the very first game of the year, just before we left the locker room, he said, "Okay, boys, let's play this game like we're playing for the state championship." And he said it every single game.
Wow.
And then we got over to the state, and wow,
Yeah.
here we were.
Yeah.
So I'll always remember that.
Yeah.
He knew we had something special.
Coming from that, I came from Cosmos, of course. You came from Mineral, both small towns. It's interesting because when I was growing up, we had Keller Stanley, who was a champion high climber.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of like that day and age. It was kind of like, well, I make it out of town. Well, I do something that'll take me out of town. And not every child or kid had an opportunity to do that. And you had supportive family that helped you get along in that direction, but you also had a natural talent, and then you had the ability to go on to Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's very true. Prior to my senior year in high school, I really had no idea I would even leave town. I thought a lot of people stick around here. There's a number of my teammates, well, matter of fact, almost all of them stayed right there in the Morton Mineral area.
Ron's still there?
Ron's still there, Mike's still there, Bill Little grew up there,
Sure.
stayed there, Ted Conniff stayed there, although he traveled a little bit.
Right.
Ronnie Hansen moved down to Tacoma, but...
Roger,
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
When before I started my senior year, I didn't think I was going anywhere. You know, but then things developed during the senior year, and I had a pretty good year.
Sure.
And I could not believe it when I got offered a 4-year scholarship to Gonzaga.
Wow.
I mean, we had no money. I mean, my father was the only one that worked, and he made a decent wage.
Sure.
But not enough to pay to go to college.
Right, yeah.
But I'll always remember the Gonzaga offer, and then Hank Anderson, my coach, even drove to Mineral.
Wow.
And presented it to me, and I'm going, oh, are you serious?
Yeah, and your parents must have been just elated.
Oh, they were so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Pam would have been, what? She would have been...
Pam was 8.
8 years old then, yeah.
Yeah, she was 10 years younger than me.
Sure. Yeah, okay. And then, let's see, during that time, when you went over to Gonzaga, well, a lot of things were happening. The war was going on at that juncture. Some of your friends were probably drafted.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So was that kind of weighing on your mind to see other kids get drafted? You had the opportunity to go off to school, so that was
there was a ton on my mind when I went to Gonzaga. I don't know if you're aware of it, but my brother was killed
I did not know that.
in August after I graduated from Gonzaga. He was killed in a logging accident.
Okay.
And so my family took me to Spokane a month after that happened.
Wow.
And I wasn't sure I was going to make it.
Right.
I didn't know if I could
hold
out, bear all that. And when I went to Gonzaga, academically, I wasn't quite as prepared as a lot of the other students that went to Gonzaga.
Sure.
I was very fortunate to get a roommate that was also a math major.
Good.
Was also a basketball player.
Okay.
And was also a baseball player.
Great.
Mike McChesney from Seattle Prep.
Okay.
And
good school.
He kept me going at Gonzaga.
That's great.
That, and then I'd get down and he'd say, let's go to the gym.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And we'd go shoot and bang into each other for a while. And then another thing at Gonzaga, when I went there in late 62, 63, all male students that are freshmen and sophomores had to be in ROTC.
Oh, okay.
Which, that's unheard of.
Right.
I mean, but that was Gonzaga's policy. So we were all in ROTC freshman and sophomore year.
Knowing that if you didn't make it in school, you could end up...
You could get drafted and out you go. So I enjoyed ROTC. I really did. I did ROTC and played basketball and played baseball and was a math major.
Sure.
I didn't have much time to do anything else.
Then summer times, would you come back and work at home?
Summertime, came back and worked for St. Regis Paper Company.
Good.
Yeah, my father got me a job.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And one year I even coached the Legion baseball team.
Okay.
St. Regis Paper Company brought in a bunch of younger kids, and we played Legion ball, and we went on to Centralia against the Centralia Pavers and those kind of games.
Oh, you had the Pavers, then let's see.
As a matter of fact, I played with the Pavers for 1 or 2 years.
Was that
also.
Canzotti in that?
Paul Canzotti.
Paul Canzotti, yeah.
Billy Lohr.
Yeah.
Denny Rohr.
Yes.
Alan Alley.
Yeah.
Bruce Jacobson. I'm telling you, they were something else.
Yeah. Which one got drafted then to baseball?
Oh, I can't
remember.
Canzotti was drafted. He did.
Yeah.
He probably did.
Yeah.
He went to Columbia Basin and played with my brother.
Right. Okay.
For 2 years. My brother went to Columbia Basin.
Okay. Gotcha.
For 2 years.
Gotcha.
But,
wow, those are quite the times. But I knew that the war was a big thing on a lot of people's mind during that time, and don't you think sports were a big diversion, but gave you a chance for? I'll never forget watching TV with my parents. We just had a little black and white TV, and they had watched, and every night they'd post who had been killed, and my brother was over there, and they'd always worry that their son's going to come up, and it was a tough time. So sports was a big part of small communities and give them just kind of a little bit of relief, something else to focus on. So.
Yeah, the war was huge at that time.
Sure.
And when I was in ROTC, I also had a draft number from Lewis County, which wasn't very good.
Wow. right.
And so I decided, well, why don't I stick with ROTC? I don't mind going into the military.
Sure.
You know, I really didn't know what I wanted to do at that time either. But I did get married after my senior year at Gonzaga. I spent one more year after I got married in Spokane finishing up. I did student teaching.
So you married the cheerleader.
I married the cheerleader. And so then, yeah, we got married after our senior year. And
Wow.
I spent one more year at Gonzaga. I had to do student teaching. Military sent me to flight school.
Good.
So I learned how to fly fixed wing,
Oh,
which was
good.
wonderful.
Sure.
And I also was an assistant coach on the freshman basketball team. We had a freshman basketball team at Gonzaga at that time.
Okay.
And the head coach was he drove the kids crazy. And a lot of times he'd have to go scouting, so that they let me take them to like Wenatchee CC or Spokane Falls Community College. And the kids were so excited that the head coach didn't go.
Oh, so you took them for a time.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. But then I went in the military and was active duty for 3 years.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Did you go overseas?
I ended up going to Vietnam.
You did?
I did. I flew helicopters.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if you want me to go through the whole thing.
No, it's fine.
1967, September, my wife and I drove from Spokane to Virginia.
Wow.
It was like 90 degrees out, and I had plastic seat covers. Enrolled in the United States Army at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and went through basic training right there.
Sure.
They had a post basketball team, and the coach just got transferred out. And so the general put out the announcement, we're looking for a coach and all that stuff. I thought, hey, this is right up my alley. So I became the player coach at Fort Eustis.
Good.
And I got another Lieutenant Rudy helped me out. He was a good buddy of mine.
Sure.
And so we both coached that team, and we won. It was the first Army, I think. We won the championship.
Wow.
Oh, the general was so excited. And then, luckily, I was chosen to go play on the All-Army team, which was temporary duty at the Presidio of San Francisco.
Wow.
So I went there and tried out for the All-Army team and made it.
Good.
I was the third guard.
Sure.
We were pretty good. I went to the inter-service tournament with the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine, Coast Guard.
Wow.
We ended up winning that whole thing.
Wow.
But we had some great players. Mike Silliman, who's from the military academy. He was an All-American.
Okay.
And Bob Perkheiser from Purdue, he was the starting guard that I couldn't beat out, darn it.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, that was the All-Army team.
Did any of those guys go on to play pro ball?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what military commitment they had either.
Sure.
So then it was back to Fort Eustis, and then they sent me to helicopter school at Fort Walters, Texas. I spent 4 months at Fort Walters, Texas, learning how to fly.
Huey?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Just a little. It was a Bell. It was a Bell.
The bubble.
We called it the
head.
pregnant egg. It was a little round one, and it was exciting learning how to fly.
Sure.
It was amazing. And then we did our instrument training. I went to Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And we did more training. And then they also had an opening for the basketball coach. So I ended up coaching that team.
Wow.
And that was the Third Army, and we ended up winning that division.
Oh, great.
So, before that, at the inter-service tournament, they chose an all-armed forces team to just do nothing but travel Europe and play basketball.
And you got on that team?
No, I was the first alternate.
Oh, no.
If somebody couldn't go,
sure,
then I would be the one to go, but everybody wanted to go.
Wow. Yeah. That was a big time to be able to do that. Yeah.
So after Hunter Army Airfield, the Army caught up to me and sent me to Vietnam. I flew Hueys in Vietnam. Probably flew 90% of the days over there.
Wow.
It was good. I was in a maintenance battalion, which was really pretty good.
Okay.
We did everything.
Sure.
Yeah. But whew.
Broad life you had there.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
so that training you received though, and with Gibby there, and then you. Now, see, the records show you at 5'8". Gotcha. So were you 5'8" or 5'9"?
I want to say 5'9".
Were
Okay,
you-
5'8.5".
Were you at Gonzaga? You were obviously probably one of the shorter, if not the shortest.
I was the shortest.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then you had other kids. Did you have other kids from around your district? Any of them went to Gonzaga?
My roommate was from Seattle Prep, and then
Okay.
we had a player from Davenport,
Okay. Yeah.
one from Harrington,
Sure.
but most from out of town,
Yeah.
California, a few from Montana also,
Sure.
but nobody else from Lewis County that I can ever
Yeah.
remember. So,
Do you remember any of the kids you played with that for whatever reason they were probably good enough but didn't have the opportunity or the chance to move on and move forward in sports?
that's a tough one. I don't
Yeah. Okay.
recall anyone.
It's pretty competitive then.
Pretty competitive.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. But you were such a standout at that juncture in time. It'd be interesting to know your record still holds at both Morton and Gonzaga.
No,
Okay, which record? Did
I
you
don't.
have?
The only record I had at Morton was the. Oh, that I think I probably still have the most points in a state tournament.
I am
game,
sure you do.
I would
I'm
think.
sure you do.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
42 in the championship game. I'm pretty sure
That was
that's
incredible.
probably there still. But at Gonzaga, no, I ended up fourth leading scorer when I graduated
You did.
from Gonzaga.
Wow.
But let me show you how it's progressed. I think I'm like
Sure.
number 30 now
Yeah.
because of the 3-point line.
3-point line.
Well, and we only played 26 games every year.
Yeah.
You know, this was 63, 64, 65.
Right.
We only had 26 scheduled. And the NCAA, we didn't go to the NCAA.
Okay.
Now they're playing 35 games and they go to the tournament
Big
every
teams.
year. And, you know, it's just
Yeah.
more opportunity to score.
Who was your
points.
toughest team you played at Gonzaga?
Weber State was awfully good.
Okay.
University of Idaho had some really good players.
Mm-hmm.
Gus Johnson
Wow.
at Idaho ended up going to the NBA, and he was unbelievable.
Wow.
He and then Idaho, Montana was pretty good. When I first went to Gonzaga, we were in the Big Sky Conference.
Sure.
So that was Idaho and Idaho State, Montana State, Weber State, Northern Arizona. So it was a good competitive league for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no real big names.
Right. Right.
Um,
Do you remember going up through the course you took in basketball and seeing a time where you thought, I really have a chance of going on? You knew you were that good that you thought, wow, I could do this. And then likewise, did you also have a time where you thought, I'm just too small to do this? What gave you the grit to move on?
Boy, very well stated. Because when I was at Gonzaga, I really thought about trying out with the Seattle Supersonics. Because I thought, I have a chance. I'm
Sure.
quicker than lightning.
Yes.
But then in the back of my mind, I'm going, except I have a 3-year military commitment that I can't get out of. And besides, I might just get cut anyway. And then all those things kind of rattle around in my mind. But
Right.
I did think about playing for Seattle Sonics.
Who was the smallest player then? That was back in Lenny Wilkins' time, wasn't it?
They were still pretty good size.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was I had an opportunity in baseball to play with Kansas City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was all league, I think my junior year or something, and they
Yeah.
offered me a bonus for signing $5,000. Now you can add a 0 or 2 to the
Exactly.
signing bonus, but
Or 3 or 4.
I gave that a little thought too. But then I said, "Oh, I still have a commitment in the military,
Sure.
and if I sign, then I can't play my senior year basketball." So,
When you think back to Morton or even back to Mineral, who was the one person that really just kind of inspired you to go on, go pursue your dream?
I think it was probably Coach Greider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was so well organized, and
Yes.
he a great speaker, and he knew how to motivate people and all that kind of stuff. I think it was Coach Greider, and then we also had a football coach, and darn, I'm coming up blank on his name, but when I had a chance to sign at Gonzaga, he pulled me aside and he says, "Look, do you want to go to college and you want to fly to all your games, or do you want to ride a bus?" He says, "Sign at Gonzaga, you're going to fly everywhere."
Wow. That was a big step.
And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. I had never been on an airplane.
Sure.
So
that would have been before Simonis. Simonis was out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I to this day, I always remember that. He pulled me aside right in the hall there in Morton. He said, "You want to fly or you want to take the bus?"
Wow.
I said, "I'd like to fly." He says, "Sign with Gonzaga."
Oh, that's great. That's great. What a great team, though.
Oh yeah. But Greider, I think Coach Greider was a great motivator and a real fine coach.
He really was. He really was. Did you have opportunity to go watch any of the championships for Gonzaga played in then?
Gonzaga?
Yes.
I've gone to a number of games.
Sure.
Yeah. They have an alumni game that we always go back to or used to.
Good.
And then they didn't introduce you in. Well, they used to introduce you individually.
Gotcha.
And we'd walk out on the court.
Sure.
Matter of fact, a buddy of mine that I golf with a lot, he tells this story every time we get around new people. Oh yeah, Bill Suter, and every time he walks out there, they give him a standing ovation. And then the guy goes, "Well, John Stockton's right in front of him also. Maybe they're still cheering for John." But yeah, there was a time when they introduced us.
Sure.
But now they got so many grads. And a lot of them come back to Spokane to live. I mean, a lot of them.
And you watched a lot of the Morton teams through the years since then, and
yes,
players
I did.
that came through there. Who stands out to you of the players? That
Bakamus, Bill Bakamus, for sure.
He was so quick.
Yeah, he was very quick.
Yeah. Smart player.
Oh yes. Yeah. And there was a year when Ron was coaching, '88, I think, when they won it. And he invited myself, Mike, Arnie, and Bill Little all into the locker room pregame.
Wow.
And he individually asked us if we had something to tell the boys before they go out on the floor. And we just all said about the same thing. It just changes your life completely.
Sure.
If you win this thing, you're gonna be gods.
Yeah.
Get the key to the city. And
Right.
Yeah. That's one thing that was amazing when we won it. We got the key to the city and all this stuff. And all the young kids that admired you and came up. And I mean, for your autograph, I'm going, "Oh, my autograph for?"
Well, I remember I was in the legislature as I was in '87 and '88. The team came in and we recognized them in the legislature.
Oh, nice!
And they gave me at that time a basketball, as I recall, and all of them signed it. And it was really a neat event for the kids to come in and how they were honored and respected. But they were fine gentlemen. They really presented themselves well.
They were. That was a great group.
They had a lot of pride, and but they held their own, and it was really neat to see that.
Yeah, they did.
It's always fun to see small town kids do well, and I think that speaks for a lot of those that had the opportunity. I was blessed to have the opportunity to serve in the legislature, and that was a big thing, at that time for me to come from Cosmos to go on. And
absolutely.
But not every kid from our community had the chance to get out of town, so to speak, and see the other part of the world and travel and do those things. So you really recognize that.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot of wealth in those communities. I mean, there's hard workers.
Sure.
Like in Mineral, like in Cosmos, Randall, you know.
But they still talk about Sweetie Suter. You had a great time. It was fun to.
It was a blast.
Fun to see, and I'm going to hopefully interview Billy as well and get his thoughts. But he was a fine player without a doubt.
He was,
and his son too.
And a fine gentleman.
That's right. Some of the other players, you still keep in contact with them, like Ron?
Oh yeah, Ron and I have been friends. Well,
Mike.
We were in this.
Roger.
We were both born in the Morton Hospital, and we were in the hospital together.
Do you remember who your doctor was that delivered you?
My sister would.
It's either Beatty or Ward.
No, it was a different one.
Oh, before that.
And then he ended up moving to Enumclaw. And then
Hogberg, was it?
It might have been.
Might have been Hogberg.
Yeah. Anyway, and then my mother went to him with Pam.
Sure.
But anyway, Ron and I have been friends for 81 years.
Wow.
Well, and then the third one in Mineral on the team was Arnie Lillerin.
Right.
Ron and I lived right next door to each other, and Arnie was a quarter of a mile away. He'd come down every day. You know, and the three of us we'd play marbles in the street, and we'd play kick the can and hide and go seek, and we did it all.
Sure.
And so I see Ron. Matter of fact, I'll see Ron Friday night. I'll be up in Mineral.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell him hello.
I will. I sure will.
And then
And Mike Fairhart also.
Yeah.
Mike is just a great guy.
He's done so much for the community there.
He has.
Have been a lot for that community.
The whole Fairhart clan has.
Exactly.
They really have. And I've stayed good friends with Mike always.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of Morton, I think of all the kids that went through there and now how the game has changed. And I look back and what we produced in timber, we've produced at one juncture, I think, over 125 million board feet of timber. And put that in perspective, I think the last time I checked, they're around less than 5 million board feet of timber. So during those times, those were the heyday times when those timber communities were doing well.
Oh, yeah.
The budgets were full, the schools were new, and there was a lot of pride. And then all of a sudden that went away. Different issues, regulatory issues spotted out, different things happened. And now we see White Pass and Morton together, and it's just not quite the same.
It's not.
No.
It really isn't. I know. I've never liked the Morton White Pass situation.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not right.
Yeah.
Although I understand the need to do that.
Sure.
If you're going to field a team, especially in football.
Oh yeah.
You know, and even basketball. I've gone to a number of games, and it's going to be thin pickings when they're on their own.
Sure.
Because they don't have that many athletes.
That depth.
They have no depth whatsoever.
No bench. Yeah.
And in football, it's just, I don't know.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go to the football game Friday night, I think.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's at Morton.
Good.
Playing Ilwaco.
Ilwaco, okay.
But Ilwaco's not the Ilwaco they were either. They were a powerhouse when we were growing up. I remember playing them our junior year in basketball.
Sure.
Ken Sugarman. Oh, my word. He was about 6'3", and he went to the CFL and played tackle in the Canadian Football League for 15 years.
Wow.
No wonder I couldn't get around him to get a shot off.
Sure. And in your, when you were in the championship, the state championship, what other teams were in that state championship level? What other teams do you recall?
Well, we were awfully fortunate, I thought, that our league was so strong. Mm-hmm. I mentioned Tenino, Toledo, and Morton. We beat Tenino at the district tournament so that then we won the tournament against Valley or somebody. But then we went over to Spokane, and the Lewis County teams were unbelievable.
Wow.
We ended up winning it. Toledo took third, and Tenino Tenino took third, Toledo took fourth. So we were first, third, and fourth in the state.
Wow, for one little county.
From our one little county.
Yeah.
And we knew we knew how good everybody was.
Sure.
We knew it was going to be one of us in the finals.
Right.
Unfortunately, the other two couldn't get there, or we couldn't get three in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at the game today and watch professional ball, and you see the numbers that they're making, it's unconscionable. The big numbers, like what LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal, what those guys are pulling down. That's more money than the whole city had. It's just incredible dollars that they're doing. What has that done for the game, do you feel?
I don't think it's helped the game at all.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, it's not going to sound very good, but I can't watch the NBA.
Right.
I mean, it's just the way the game is played,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the non-calls, the physicality.
Right.
I understand the referees have a very difficult job. These guys are huge. They're fast. They're 6'9", and they're running the floor like a little guard.
Yeah.
And I think it's near impossible to referee a game like that, because if you're going to referee and you're going to call all the fouls, there's going to be nobody left in the game.
Sure.
Or the score is going to be 180 to 170.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult situation.
Sure. College.
I can't understand the payroll.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. What can anybody do with $40 million a year? Please.
40.
I mean,
it's more than that now.
I don't even understand it.
It is. It's just crazy, the numbers that they're pulling up. It's. I never thought we'd ever see the day where those kind of numbers and what effect that has on a young kid.
I know another little thing about the nil situation in college, and I've always said this. The players always wanted to get paid for playing in college. And my point of view is, what's wrong with a free education? Getting a total free degree, get an education.
Sure.
You get to play basketball, you get a free education, and then you can go. They don't want that. No. They want to play 1 year, and then they want to jump to the pros and make $8 million or whatever they make.
Right. Yeah.
And then the nil situation has just ruined college basketball.
Yes.
And baseball and football and all of it. And nobody ever stays with one of their teams that gave them their scholarship.
Sure.
It's sad. Gonzaga, on the other hand, now has been able to hold on to most of their players.
Yeah.
There's some disgruntled ones at the bench that don't get to play, that aren't quite as good. They should be allowed to transfer, so maybe they could play somewhere else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the other thing I want to talk to you about was with respect to the other kids. Like myself, I didn't play ball. I didn't have any really athletic ability per se, but it was so much pride watching players like yourself and others, Billy Bakamus and those, go on to play. And some kids just didn't have that gene, if you will, to play sports.
That's true.
Either eyesight or, their father was working, they couldn't get to the games or whatever, So having that parental support, but the game has changed. Now there's so many kids that go to school, many with single parents or some who have no parents, and it's a different thing. There's different things, distractions, if you will. You didn't have any cell phone when you grew up.
No, exactly.
So now you have cell phones. You have everything from iPhones to everything that's on TV. Social media has taken a big part.
I think the social media is big on it.
And distractions, and it's hard to keep a kid's attention to focus. In many respects, I think it may have been. Do you think it may have been easier then because you had fewer things to focus on?
I think it was much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 100% of our focus on basketball.
On basketball.
Well, a little bit about school, but
mostly
about basketball, and that's what we talked about.
Right.
Ron and I and Arnie, we'd ride the bus together, or we'd ride in Ron's car if he got lucky and got the keys.
Yeah.
And then Fairheart and and Bill Little. We talked sports,
Right.
and we didn't have other things to talk about.
Right.
We could talk about girls maybe a little bit,
Sure.
but yeah, you're right. I think it was a lot easier for us at that time of the career.
It was fun. I was up this last week in Canada and interviewed a hockey player, national hockey player, Jim Harrison, and he played with Bobby Orr and Gretzky, the greats, and I says, what was the most fun? He says, well, we had a lot of fun on the court. He says, but we had a lot of fun off the court too. I says, well, like what? He says, well, we played a lot of pranksters. We were big pranksters. At that time, they had always go see somebody, afterwards and give a speech or whatever and be recognized. And they all had to wear a suit. Well, the kids would go around and cut the legs off the suits. So they'd stand up and the legs would fall off. The pant legs would fall off. Or they'd put ice cubes on their lap, and then they'd jump up and there was a big wet spot. So that didn't play well. So they're, fun things that happened there and good memories, but the memories you take and go on from life and what skills do you think most helped you in your career from playing basketball?
I think hard work is one of them.
Your work ethic, yes.
And I've always been told that I'm awfully competitive. And I think my competitive nature has carried over in a lot of things.
Do you think that was born out through your sports? Did you?
I think it was born out through sports.
What
Absolutely.
started that though? When you were a kid,
Little kid,
recall?
probably a little. I mean, when I was young, and then I tried to keep up with my brother Joe.
Were you smaller?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, Joe was about 6'1" or so.
Okay.
And and he was fantastic.
Sure.
Great player.
Yeah.
And so I tried to keep up with him.
Right.
Well, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I could keep ahead of Ron because I was
Faster.
quicker than he was. And Arnie, I could get ahead of those guys. So I've been competitive my whole life. Even when I golf 3 days a week. And
You're still competitive. Yeah.
Oh, still so competitive. I mean, we do things like, I got a good buddy, Ken Trapp, and we have a competition to see who can find the most balls. And Ken and I go way back. As a matter of fact, I coached the girls basketball at Barlow High School for 8 years. And we get the state tournament, and we won our first 2 games. So we're in the semifinals against Ken's team.
Good.
Ken Trapp. But he's loaded. He's got studs. He's got a 6'3" girl and his 6'2" girl in the middle. And we're going, oh, my other coaches are going, it's going to be tough. I said, I know it is. So they ended up beating us, and he every day seems to bring that up.
Oh,
if we meet somebody new, hey, yeah, Bill and I, we coach against each other. How'd that go, Bill? But I think I'm just competitive, and it's helped me.
Right.
I was a math teacher for 31 years, and
Sure.
pretty well, you got to be disciplined in order to do the math, I think. So I'm not.
But you brought up a few stories through those days of teaching, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. We had pranks too at Gonzaga quite a bit. We play a lot of cards on road trips because you don't have anything else. You're in a hotel room. And Gary Leachman, he was unbelievable. He was a great friend of mine. Gary Leachman, and then my roommate, Mike McChesney, and another guy, John Brodsky, who was the other starting guard. We'd play pinochle all the time. And Leachman and I, we cheated our butts off. We got our signals down, and I mean, I feel bad kind of, but we had a great time. It was so much fun.
That's great. Oh, good. So, grandkids went on to play?
Oh my. Yeah, my son's in Seattle. He's an airline pilot with Alaska Airlines.
Good.
And both kids went to Bellevue High School, Colin and Kylie.
Yeah.
Colin was a great pitcher and a basketball player.
Okay.
Ended up going to Gonzaga, walked on at Gonzaga, and played on the
Great.
baseball team for a couple years.
Great.
And Kylie was a great soccer player, and she got a full ride to Colorado College.
Wow.
And Colorado College is not really known very well, but it's Division I in the Mountain West with
Sure.
Boise State, San Diego State, New Mexico. And I'm really proud of Kylie because she started every game at Colorado
great.
College.
That's
And
great.
of course, I tried to make as many as I could. It's tough to get there. You got to go to Denver and then rent a car and drive for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two are in Seattle. And then my daughter, who teaches Spanish in high school, she had two boys, Evan and Drew. And Evan was unbelievable basketball player. Matter of fact, his senior year, I don't know, he had 8 or 12 dunks,
Wow.
one-handed dunks, two-handed dunks, breakaway dunks. Good player. Walked on at Gonzaga one year.
You showed him how to do that dunking, didn't
Oh,
you?
sure. Anyway, he walked on at Gonzaga, and unfortunately, it was COVID year, so
Right.
he couldn't even suit up for the games, and they couldn't take on road trips. They could only take 12, and they couldn't take a full 15.
Sure.
And so he graduated in 3 years, and then played 1 year college golf, College of Idaho.
Gotcha.
And then I have another grandson, Drew, who's another good basketball player, but he's at Oregon State studying computer science.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Any regrets? You wish you would have done something a little bit different, or you had a great life?
No regrets.
That's good.
No, I often wonder, there was a time when I thought, oh, I wish I would have gone to Hawaii and started my own helicopter business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thoroughly enjoyed flying helicopters.
Sure.
Even though it was in Vietnam,
Right.
I flew for a year in the States, and then I went to Vietnam for a year. I applied at a number of places, but that there wasn't any job opportunity. But it's so much fun. I mean, I see helicopters go over and I go, oh, those guys are having some fun up there. But no regrets.
Yeah.
No
that's
regrets.
Good. That's good. As you think back now, and if you saw a young player that was in his high school days, and you think back at what you did at that time, do you ever think, oh, I wish I could just help that person do this or that? What would you, if you were to help give them just a push or a word, what would that be?
Well, I don't know how coaches do it now,
Mm-hmm.
because I go to a lot of games at Barlow High School, and they have a coach been there 30 years. Tom Johnson does a wonderful job. Matter of fact, they won the state title this year. He had some talent, but it was near impossible job of coaching, because he had 3 really good players, and a good player wants the ball. And so
Not give it up.
if Jalen has the ball, what about
Yeah.
Kelly? He's not going to get the ball. And so there were times I wanted to talk to Jalen about, oh, you should maybe share the ball, but it wouldn't work. I mean, kids, they know what they want to do.
They wanted the limelight. They
want the
to
limelight.
assist.
Even though they wanted to win the title, and they did, not luckily, but thank goodness.
Well, there's a lot said about playing in a team and having team sport mentality. And when you go out through your career, having that ability. I never really played for a team because I was working on a farm or something like that nature. But I could notice it in business. Those guys or gals
sure.
that came from a team had a commitment and a unity there. It's like a family, and they played as a team. And that's very important.
That's one of the things about that Greider's 1962 team.
Mm-hmm.
We were a team.
Mm-hmm.
I know I shot a lot, but I had the opportunities.
Sure.
Everybody on that team had their roles,
Right.
and they knew exactly what to do. Ron and Bill Little were going to rebound, and if they had an opportunity, they would shoot. But more often, they would kick it out, and there I am standing there all by myself. Well, I might as well shoot. Arnie Lillerin, he didn't get much limelight, but he was tough on defense.
Yeah.
And then Fairhart was a deadeye. He was a good shooter.
Good.
I don't know if you knew that, but
Yeah.
Mike could shoot the ball. Well, in the state championship game, he had 15.
Wow, that's good.
You know, and when I took 33 shots, so how's he going to get any out? But actually, it was
What was your percentage? You remember?
17 out of 33.
17 out of 33. It's not bad.
50+%.
That's kind of like that 5'8" or 5'9".
Exactly. No, I wish I'd have made more free. I was 8 for 12 from the line. Dang, fatigue must have set in or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have hit a couple more of those. But no, that 62 was a real team effort.
Well, you became a legend. You still are a legend. And it's fun to see that.
Thank you very much.
It's been.
Thank you.
It's great to have this opportunity, and I know a lot of people will enjoy watching it and hearing your stories. When I talked to others about you, they said, "Oh, what a character!"
Did they really?
You had a great laugh, great smile, just good spirit about you. So that's a lot to be said. But,
well, thank you.
It
was fun.
I think basketball did well for you, and the town of Morton did well for you as well.
Yeah, it was great. It was a wonderful place to grow up.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, you did a great job.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. There we go. And I'll put this right